What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building, and I just want to drop a short video before I started my work day. You know what I'm saying? Doing my great deliveries out there in these high-end neighborhoods, having a good time, But as I said before, I just wanted to jump in here and make a quick video about just my thoughts. And I was just thinking this morning, Dallas got an underrated coaching staff, right? Um, One of the befalls of the Cowboys, in my opinion, for a lot of years has been the coaching and the coaching staff. Because remember, when we had Garrett, Linehan, all those guys, I can't really go through all the positional when Garrett was here, or even in the beginning of Mike McCarthy. We knew the first year with Mike Nolan was a disaster, gave up like 29 points a game, one of the worst defenses in the history of the Cowboys. We get it, we understand it. There was some switch ups this year. Joe Philbin got let go. Obviously, Kellen Moore. But this coaching staff is underrated from top to bottom. I'm not going to name all the names, but I'm going to name the names that stick out to me. First, on the offensive side, obviously Mike McCarthy. He just really took over this thing and really just made it his own. A lot of people were talking about there's going to be regression in this offense. Few prominent people in these Cowboys streets. Offense was going to regress. I said it was not going to be the super explosive offense, so I'm surprised they're leading the league in scoring. I said it was going to be a efficient, strong offense, but it may not be the high-flying, 40-point games like we were seeing in the past. Mike has disproved that because, he likes to throw the ball. Dak is on another level. So it starts right there with McCarthy and his play calling, the aggressiveness, the in-game changing, in-game, you see stuff going on, you're doing in-game adjustments. Mike McCarthy's just been really in his bag so far this year, and it's good to see. Scott Tolzien, he's been there for 3 years. I mean, look how Dak has been balling in these years with right now. And this is one of the best years I've ever seen him play. So I got to say Scott Tolzien had to come in there and help that out because they used to have Nuschmeyer. Because Scott Tolzien was rolling with Mike McCarthy, I believe, before. And I just feel like, look how Dak is playing. The footwork, running, the precision on the way he's dropping the ball, on the deep ball, just surgical. I'm got to give Scott Tolzien props. Then we go to, his last name is Prince. I don't know, Robert Prince, receivers coach. We used to have a couple other receivers coach, Robert Prince. I mean, look at CeeDee Lamb again. Look how Jalen Tolbert stepped his game up. Kevontae Turpin is a weapon now with us, right? We had him just as a kick punt returner, but he's a weapon now in the receiving game. You can use him. Jalen Brooks, we saw that development from him. Jalen Tolbert, our receiving core is a very nice receiving core. We have a very good receiving core, and they haven't missed a beat since getting Robert Prince over. Then you look at our tight ends coach. Linda Wells don't get enough credit because he's been turning up these tight ends even when he had Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz wasn't doing too much until Linda came over here, and we had one of the best young cores last year with Linda. And then you draft Schoonmaker, who we know, but he's coming along. You see the leap from Jake Ferguson. He's a superstar. He's about to be a superstar. I ain't hating on Hendershot either. Hendershot is still good, and that John Stevens Jr., he was looking right before he got hurt. We got some guys over here in the tight ends, and when they come over here to Dallas, when you draft them, when they come over here, they get better. So Wells has been an animal in these streets. Mike Solari, we was complaining about him, but look how he's got this offensive line together. Tyron Smith is having a career year. Terrence Steele, but I think that's the injury. Look at Tyler Smith. He's damn near going to probably be an all-pro guard this year. Zach Martin's still doing his damn thing. Look at the development. We saw Sim Richards. We saw TJ Bass. We saw them, and I think he's going to keep developing. And then we flip over to the defensive side. Obviously, Dan Quinn, him and Mike McCarthy are just like, they go hand in hand. That's a perfect blend of offensive guy and a defensive guy. That's the perfect blend, in my opinion. It's been the perfect blend between them two. And they like each other. They talk to each other. They have a relationship. You feel me? And that means a lot. That means a lot. They're on the same page. And then you got Al Harris, who's been monstrous. I knew the day they signed Al Harris from the Kansas City Chiefs, I made a video and said that's one of the best signings we had. I made a video specifically about Al Harris, saying that was one of our best signings when we brought him over from KC. Because I remember Al Harris when he played. I couldn't stand him when he was with them Eagles and them Packers, but he was an animal. Al Harris, beast. You see what he's doing. Joe Witt, him and Joe Witt together. Dan Quinn, Joe Witt, Al Harris together have all been amazing together. They and because remember when you had Rob Marinelli and Chris Richard, they were all, it was always who's coaching this and who's coaching that. You don't hear that. You don't hear that. You don't hear no back and forth. It's one unison thing, and that's why that defense is doing what it's doing. That's why this offense is doing what it's doing. This coaching. Aiden Dirty, the defensive lineman, the defensive line coach, they love him and I love him. First of all, I love the accent, but I wondered what he was going to be when they got rid of Leon Letting those guys. Bruh, I like him. I seen him, when they had the videos of him and he's talking, he's intense, he goes hard, and the players love him. That's another great pickup. And then Sharif Floyd. I remember Floyd used to play with the Vikings. He was a nice player. I believe his development has helped the team as well because he was a very good player, and I think that was a great pickup as well. They got a couple, the analytics people are obviously Bones Fossil. Look what we doing with Brandon Aubrey, 30 in a row. You get what I'm saying? So, I'm kind of in it in this. This is the reason why Dallas is 10-3. We have always talked about Cowboys have always had the talent, but it's been that front office and the coaching. Obviously, we still got to clean up these penalties. One of the worst penalized teams in the league. Still got to clean that up. But it's. I just feel like Dallas has got a target on them with these penalties. Just my opinion. I ain't trying to cry, but it just feels like it. But the reason why Cowboys are 10-3 right now, this coaching staff is underrated. And those names that I just named are some of the few names that have really made a difference within this organization and within this team. And the reason why they're playing this well is because it's one mind, it's one thought, it's in unison. And I forgot Brian Schottenheimer too. That was a great pickup. You got rid of Kellen Moore. Brian Schottenheimer has that familiarity with Mike McCarthy already, and Schottenheimer being on the field, I love his intensity. He's just intense. He's always talking to Dak. It's just great open lines of communication from the offensive side to the defensive side. It's just a great thing to see, and that's the reason why the Cowboys are 10-3. And the fact that they can make the in-game adjustments, because we used to see our coaching staffs would never make them adjustments. They would just be like, oh, okay, well, that's what it was last game. Well, we're going to still stick with this plan, and we're going to mano you. No, you're not going to win like that in 2023. You got to disguise. You got to move around. It's got to be. It can't be no basic thing like the 90s. That don't work no more. You get blown out. And the fact that these guys can make those adjustments on the fly and don't be hard-headed and say this is what we're going to do no matter what, that shows you how good of a coaching staff this is. And we need to win something now because I think some of these people, they've been trying to poach Dan Quinn. Al Harris is a hot name. Some of these names going to be poached. So if Dallas need to win, they need to win now because they're going to be going after these Cowboys coaches in the near future. Big Game James, I'm out. Peace.